Have you ever considered why church building projects can be so difficult? Oftentimes, they lack a shared vision. In this episode of Full Circle, we're going to talk about why the success of your building project starts by asking why. Hi, I'm Shawn Fink, Chief Operations Officer at Paragon 360. I am joined today by Donnie, owner and CEO of Paragon 360, and Tim Neptune, pastor and our Chief Strategy Officer. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me today. We want to talk a little bit about the why. When we go and visit with church clients all over the country, big and small, to discuss their renovation or new construction projects, one of the first things we talk about is why. Why are we doing this? We can renovate buildings, we can update AVL systems, build children's spaces, but why? If we're going to spend a lot of money on a project of any size, why are we doing this and what ministry need is it filling?
Yeah, answering the why is really critical for a successful project. It's not critical to doing a project, but it's certainly critical to doing one well and to getting it right.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the 4 reasons to start with why. So the why informs those that are not aware of our needs. It inspires people to rally behind a project. It disarms the potential critics of projects, but it motivates the donors to invest and increases their buy-in. Let's start with the first one. Starting with the why informs those that are not aware of our needs.
Yeah, in my time in ministry, I've experienced a number of different building projects. Churches are communities, and like all communities, there are many different aspects and people play many different roles. It's difficult for everyone to have a fully informed perspective on every aspect of a church's ministries and facilities. A parent of teenagers may be very aware of the needs in the student ministry, but not be very in tune to what's happening in the nursery or other aspects of the church.
Makes total sense, Tim. You know, you could have a church leader who is well informed about the deferred maintenance on a building, the roof leak, the failing HVAC unit. You can tell I'm a church board member, or the tree in the church parking lot that needs trimming. But the typical Sunday morning attendee may have absolutely no idea these issues exist.
Right, and that's probably a good thing. We need to realize that people often do not recognize the many varied needs in a church unless they're close to the situation or unless someone informs them. Addressing these needs can become difficult when people don't even realize that those needs exist.
You know, you're right, Tim. What I think about are all the great compassion organizations that we have in the world that do so many great things for people that are in need. The success of these organizations seems to often lie in their ability to communicate the need. They realize that's a big deal. The world would never know the need if the organization did not identify and communicate it. All right, so starting with the why can also inspire people to rally behind a project.
Yeah, I mean, people are motivated by a lot of different things. Some people in the church are focused on outreach, so it's very easy for them to get behind a project that involves reaching new people. And some are motivated by reaching the next generation, and therefore they're into supporting the investment in the youth and the children's ministries, and all of that is important to them. So getting clear on the why inspires people to get on board with the vision behind the project.
Right. I mean, if you can cast a vision for a bigger outcome, people get inspired. Why are we doing this project? You know, to reach the next generation, to expand our outreach to hurting people in the community, or to better serve maybe the aging population in our congregation, or to assist families as they seek to train their children.
Right. You know, if your facility is showing signs of age or has become a barrier to future growth, explaining both how and why your project is going to alleviate those problems can really get people excited about what it is you're trying to do.
Yeah, and getting crystal clear on the why behind your project inspires and excites people as they kind of envision, you know, how much better the future might be when this project's complete.
You know, starting with why also disarms potential critics. People are critical, and newsflash, even church people can be critical. Sometimes we like to call them cave dwellers, people who are consistently against virtually everything. However, when reasons for criticism are legitimately removed and the critic is informed, well, then that criticism loses its credibility.
Yeah, and in our experience, legitimate criticism of a church building or renovation project can usually be addressed by answering the why behind the project.
Yeah, you know, Donnie, that answer is pretty simple when there's a pothole in the church parking lot. But often the reasons behind a project are less visible and less obvious, but much more important. No one wants to drive through a pothole every Sunday, but fixing potholes doesn't save souls.
Right, and buildings don't necessarily do that either, but creating spaces that engage people as worshipers and not spectators, that's the goal.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Okay, so this last one is critical to the success of a financial campaign, and as we know, most of these projects have some type of stewardship initiative or financial campaign that's involved here to get this project done and get the funds necessary for that. So at the end of the day, if your people do not clearly understand the problems you're trying to solve, the people you're trying to reach, the mission you're trying to accomplish, the opportunities you're trying to capitalize on, it's going to be pretty tough to inspire generosity and really achieve those goals that you're trying to pull off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Two questions must be answered at the beginning of any kind of a stewardship campaign. Why are we doing this, and why are we doing it now? If we're asking people to make a sacrificial gift to a project, they need to have both of those questions answered. People give to vision, not just to need. Therefore, the vision for the project must be communicated so often that the people can almost say it right along with you.
And it's important to find a compelling way to tell that story. I mean, give them the opportunity to ask questions, maybe in small group settings or one-on-one conversations. Better yet, seek their input, get them involved. You might be surprised, at how willing people are to get involved and serve if they simply are asked.
That's right. At the end of the day, if you want to inspire generosity in your people, they have to know what you're hoping to accomplish and why that is critically important.
I can tell you with over 30 years of experience in design that church spaces are complicated. I think it's very difficult to get it right if you're not working towards the why behind the project. I mean, at Paragon, it's front and center of the design process, of all the details and decisions that we go through. Everything has to tie back to that why at the end of the day in some fashion or another.
Yeah, I mean, that is so true. The why is global. It's important to almost everyone involved in the project, from the leadership to the staff, to the donors, to the architects, to the general contractors, to the members of your design team, all of that. Everyone has to be informed.
So, to wrap this up, starting with the why allows us to inform those that are not aware of the needs so that they can help educate others, make more informed decisions. It inspires your people to rally behind the project, help build support. It disarms the potential critics of a project to limit misinformation and keep the facts straight. And it motivates your donors to invest in the project and increases your support, your buy-in, which is also very important because the reality is people don't give to need, they give to vision. And, all of our churches need help casting vision. Well, guys, this has been great. Thanks so much for your input. And thank you for watching and joining us for this edition of Full Circle. To get more insights, visit Paragon360.com or subscribe on YouTube.